Well, that's good.
I appreciate that. Well, Don, what do you have for your superlatives this week?
To be honest, I was feeling a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit sad the last week with a lot of things that were going on. And I think it even started when we were talking last Thursday, but it was a little overwhelming for me with the verdicts coming in from some of the, the huge trials that were so close to the NFL, so many of the players' hearts. And, so I was on edge about that. And I was paying attention to the one in Kenosha, of course, the one in Georgia, and, other shocking event. And I don't want to give too much ammunition to, I'm not going to talk about what they were, but, some shocking events involving NFL players. And so, so when things happen, and then you're on social media and everyone's talking about it and saying this and that, my way to deal with that is I just kind of step back a little bit. I don't make a big announcement. I'm going to take a mental health break for 2 days or whatever, but I've been kind of doing a little mental health check-in just on some of this stuff. I also follow trials, not all of them, but I follow the trials because I don't like I want to form my own opinion. So I don't want to hear the reporter say this happened and that happened. I want to actually see some of it. I'm interested in law. And so I wasn't watching all of, by any means, the 2 trials last week. And there's actually another trial I'm interested in. It has nothing to do with anybody from the NFL would care about it. It's totally unrelated. But so I'm trying to get snippets of this court trial and that court trial. And then, just seeing anything, sad or negative involving NFL players, it just kind of got me thinking about, how to just be okay, and step back from it. And I noticed a lot of people, and I think during the holidays, people are reaching out to one another and also checking in with one another. And I noticed a few people were taking little breaks. And so I'm just going to say, Sports Center and all the news outlets were reporting about Everson Griffin and what happened with him. And for some reason, it really shook me. I mean, you never know what's going to bother. I mean, with me, it's just sometimes things just get under my skin. And that really, I was concerned. Because the last I heard, he was still in his home. And so I was kind of popping on to see. And then I was very relieved when Sports Center and other news outlets all came out and said, he had refused to come out of his residence, but that he did leave and there was nothing, without incidents, and he went to a healthcare facility. And so I was just really relieved about that. And I don't know why I was so emotionally involved with that. Maybe I was vulnerable because of the trials, and I don't know what it was, but I was worried. And we just played them, and, I just kind of close to home type of thing. So, people were, of course, speculating about this and that, head injury. We don't know what's going on with him. But we had Junior say out here, when he had CTE, severe CTE, and he played for our teams out here. And maybe it's because of him, but he took his own life, and he drove right off of the cliff here, right near where I live. So it's just very real to me. And I don't really like how light people take some of these things. And somebody posted, and this isn't on my list, but somebody did post, hey, just remember there's a real person behind there. I think it was, I can't remember who posted that about what, but it was, in any case, I was feeling a little vulnerable, and especially with regard to our team and everything that's going on. And so Aaron Rodgers' doppelganger, I don't know if you follow him.
Sean, he's awesome. Yeah, I love that guy.
I love him. And so he said something, excuse me, I dropped down too far. So after it was announced that Everson had gone and gotten help, somebody posted, and I'll say who it was, just kind of a random person, Hakeem Burner. I think he follows Hakeem or loves Hakeem Olajuwon, the basketball player.
Yeah.
Just somebody random I never heard of before, but he just said, hey, so glad this unfolded without anything tragic happening. That's all he said. And it was like, oh, thank God, somebody's going to say something. Because I was thinking, I want to say something, that poor man, but who are we? They don't know who we are. But I do know that a lot of people do know that millions of people are saying positive things or hoping for them, and they hear that. So, but I was just kind of relieved that he was getting the help that he got, and that somebody found the words for me, because I was feeling really just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
The just overwhelmed. There was the one who was beating up his girlfriend in front of the baby, you know, a couple days before, and it was just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, so that was just simple, and all it takes is something really simple. Or to say nothing, which is usually what I do. If I don't know what to say, it's just like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to kind of head out of here and get out of all this, especially if it's too controversial. But yeah, I just think it's important that we remember, even the athletes, they read, they know what's being said. You don't need to be mean. I mean, it's just a game, you know, and what's most important is community, and not just the community of our Packer community, but just community in general. So that's how I was feeling about that.
So what was your first superlative then? Just to clarify here.
It's very long because I haven't thought of it. Most appropriate and positive in view of a tragedy.
And that was the Hakeem Burner. Gotcha. Okay.
That was Hakeem. Sorry about that. I skipped a line and then I got lost. Most appropriate and positive in view of a tragedy. And, you know, and it's just a good reminder to me to, you know, be appropriate, try to be positive. If you can't be positive, it's understandable. It's understandable why we can't always be positive.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
You know? Yeah. In my case, then I would just say to myself, I'm not giving anyone else advice. Remember that there's a person behind that profile.
Yeah.
There's a human being that might read what I say and it could hurt them or help them. So that's all.
And if I can just tie a couple of things here together, Dawn. So talking about mental health for Everson Griffin, talking about Dak Prescott, you mentioned before, and like what a voice he's been able to give to like the importance of mental health, and then bringing it back to you for taking a couple of days like more away from Twitter for your mental health. I think all that is really important stuff to like be aware of and talk about and attend to. I mean, since the majority of the students that I work with in my job are first year students, I'm always trying to like, when I'm meeting with them, try to get them to open up a bit more, like how is their mental health going? And first year students, it's a lot of pressure, that transition to college. So like I try to, as much as I can in my small little corner of the world, try to help the students I work with to like really, you know, check in with themselves about how their mental health is. I think it's so important.
It is. And I was raised in the Midwest in that really stiff upper lip British kind of, you know? So for me, it's still a journey. It's a journey no matter where you are at, you know, what age you are. But it's, for some of us, you know, I really appreciate that people are so open about it now. I mean, I think it was it Jamie Cheesebutt that had posted something about how are you feeling to, you know, something about that.
She posts about mental health a lot, actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Side note, love Jamie. She's awesome.
She's great. She's great. I do too. She's so fun and prolific tweeter.
Yeah.
So, and kind of on the Aaron Rodgers foot thing, Rodgers doppelganger. sorry, everyone. I kind of got.
You're giving a teaser about your second one ahead of time.
Yeah, yeah, because he said, well, he had some. The reason is I had the one thing, and then he had other things too. That was okay. So Aaron Rodgers doppelganger. So if you're not following him, it's at ARDS_corner. And he said, and I'm quoting, "I'm actually sick of people not just letting bad teams celebrate their wins. The season is tough and losing sucks. Let them have some fun when they win, no matter who they beat." And that also might have been because I really wasn't loving the let's make fun of the Vikings thing. It's like, come on, we don't, you know, I don't know. anyway, but his content is fantastic.
He's
A
great.
super fun follow. I mentioned in my notes here, but we already talked about it. I literally loathed Rogers showing his foot at the press conference. I don't know why it struck me. I mean, I'm not really against feet either, but for some reason it just hit me the wrong way. And but then, and so I was just like getting off. I didn't want to see those pictures. I took like a day off of Twitter until all that passed. Well, I looked at Aaron Rodgers' doppelganger, and he did a reenactment. Did you?
I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that. I'll go find that.
And for some reason, I thought that was hilarious, and it didn't gross me out. So it's just maybe, I don't know, whatever. It's hilarious. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then, and so he is what is he? I forgot what he is. I forgot what he was. I'll have
what you had for the
I'm
term?
looking. I had something.
Most awesome. Sean's amazing. Yeah, I mean he's funny and he is really genuine. I've interacted with him a few times here and there on Twitter. Just like he seems like a really like centered, grounded person, and yeah, he's a good one.
I was really glad to read that, because I was thinking, like, why do we have to make fun of people that are win? You know, it's like, give them their win. You know, I don't know. I obviously want us to beat everyone. I'm a competitive person, but not to the point where I have to do nasty things, say nasty things. Words do hurt people. It does hurt. I think he was most positive. And most pragmatic goes to a YouTube channel I follow. And I just mentioned this earlier. I follow for help in objectivity in legal cases. And it's fairly new. I follow several reputable lawyers. But this one is a new channel, not a new lawyer. This law firm they do defense law. They're defense attorneys, which is, I can't imagine being a defense attorney, right? Because you're defending,
Seems like a hard life.
A hard job, but it's a necessary job in this particular system that we have here in the USA. So it's called The Lawyer You Know. It's a fairly new YouTube channel, and I relied on insights from their attorneys and some other attorneys to prepare me for the verdicts in both trials. And I felt like I needed to be mentally prepared, and I wasn't really expecting how emotional I would be this last week, but I was. And there were other things that were going on, and I was just like, just ew. And then the foot on top of it, I think that was just
the foot on top
too much. Just put your foot back in your sock, Tim. I don't know. But and so I did mention The Lawyer You Know is on YouTube, and I personally feel like I like to get my own facts, not rely on news, because news is always biased in some way. And I don't trust most of the news sources. So I recommend checking them out. And they have live streams on YouTube. I haven't made any of their lives yet, but he's on there. He's this lawyer. He's on there live, and you can ask questions. And since they're a new channel and they're building their audience and building their content, they're taking recommendations like what's the next trial you want us to focus on. They usually do. There's more than one lawyer, so they usually do a couple at the same time. But like they're doing the Theranos trial, which I'm incredibly interested in. I don't know if you know what that's about, but I'm
not familiar now.
It's not crime. It means crime, but it's white collar crime. It's it's interesting. So anyway, so The Lawyer You Know, most pragmatic, most positive, and that long-winded one, I need to come up with a better word. Most appropriate and positive in view of a tragedy.
No, I think that's great, actually. I mean, there's no need for any shorter of a version of that, I don't think so.
Okay. So Maddie, so any bonus thoughts, any more thoughts about when I had to I feel like yours and mine, they kind of tied in together.
Like 2 feet working together.
two left feet. And I honestly I wasn't going to put it Andrew Brandt's comment on that, but I thought that was the most hysterical thing too. It was just succinct, hilarious, and said it all. Yeah, I loved it. Because
sorry, go ahead.
Gosh knows what he would do if it wasn't his fault.
Oh, seriously. Well, I don't think we have like COVID other body parts, fortunately, that like he could be accused of having. But anyhow, Yeah, I mean, if I had any final thoughts on any of this, it'd just be attending to your mental health is so important. Being aware of what other people might be going through is a really important thing too,
Yeah.
because most people hide that kind of stuff, and it's really hard to deal with that internally. So, get the help you need if you need help. Basically, it's out there. You don't have to do it alone. That kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, and take a break if you need to take a break, and
Yeah.
you don't have to announce it. You don't have to explain anything to anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I have a good Twitter friend who will go unnamed, who is doing a probably a couple of weeks out of Twitter, which is on one hand a bummer because I like them a lot. I love interacting with them. On the other hand, it's like I'm glad that they're attending to their own needs to be away from the Bird app for a while. So yeah, it's important stuff.
Yeah, and I think holiday time is a really particularly, well, we know that there are more incidents of mental health events.
Yeah, it's a higher pressure time and a more emotional time for sure.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be more joyous for some people and just much harder for other people. And
yeah,
holidays.
Yep.
So anyhow, Dawn, let's wrap it up here. How can or where can people find you on the socials?
So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. I am Dawn DeQuisto, DAWNDACQUISTO. Matt, you need to write a little ditty for me on that.
Ooh, will do.
And our podcast is in all of those same places. Hey, ! We like your pod. It's at Hey Willip. That's HEYWLYP. And Maddie, where can we find you?
Yeah, I'm at Matt Trombone on Twitter. That's 3 T's in the middle. Friends, please subscribe, rate, and share Hey, We Like Your Pod wherever you listen. It helps us grow our audience and keep doing what we do.
Yes, it really does. And we appreciate you all joining us here. We're both so glad to know you, to be fans of you, and to have the luxury of being fans of the most storied team in the NFL. We appreciate your support, your subscriptions, and sharing our pod. And we look forward to seeing you next week on
Hey, We Like Your Pod.
I
hope so too. I hope that. What?
I'm excited about having guests on our podcast.